Welcome guys, if you're watching this video, you are probably new to the game or you would just like to learn more about it. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to clarify up some of the mechanics in this game, and hopefully it's going to help out the people who are new to this game. And there's going to be a lot of information, so it's going to be a somewhat lengthy video, so please bear with me. So the first thing I want to go over is the buffs. So you can see the bonus little lantern on the top of the screen. Go ahead and click into it. It's going to show you all the buffs you have in your inventory, and you want to make sure you pause them when you're not using it, and it's going to look red when you have paused it, and it's going to look yellow when it's not on pause. And if you don't have some of these, don't worry, you're going to get them eventually, either through events or through purchasing them in the store. And this is where you can buy it. You go to the mall, you go to general, and then the experience bonus is here. They cost 100 or 270 Jade for 3 days, and it's a pretty good investment. Definitely consider buying it because Jade do come by pretty often, and this is really going to help you progress in the game. Next up, we're going to talk about what is the best places to farm for experience, coins, and souls. And the answer is it's going to be the most difficult chapter that you have unlocked, and also the one that you can farm comfortably. If you're only able to clear this chapter for say 50% of the time, or if you're having trouble defeating the boss, you might want to go back to the previous chapter. And I want you guys to take note that chapter 2 and chapter 4 is pretty good for beginners, because they drop a soul set that's gonna be very useful for your DPS units. So just make a mental note of that, chapter 2 or chapter 4. And also at the later stage, I would recommend chapter 11 or chapter 16. As you may be able to tell, I have exclusively farmed chapter 16 instead of 17. Even though chapter 17 will probably give me more experience, I really prefer chapter 16 simply because my DPSers is able to comfortably clear the chapter much faster. So the next thing we want to take note of, before you decide to farm, you need to decide which Shikigami or units you want to focus on. If you have any SSR units, you probably feel inclined to give them everything, just level them up, make them the best unit in your team. And usually that's true and that's fine, but sometimes your units might not be the best candidate for farming. So in my case, I believe my best unit is All Tengu, and he serves his purpose as a farmer and he's pretty good at it. And if you don't have any SSR, don't worry, you can use, if you pull some SR units that you feel like is going to be a great farmer, then go for it. But what we're looking for is a unit with some sort of AoE attack or area attack. And Yuki Onna is a pretty good candidate if you didn't pull any good SR units. Also, the Inugami is a pretty good unit as well for farming. So if you have those two units, then you might want to consider making them your farmer. And there are other SR units out there that are really good at farming. Say for Ubume, she's really good at farming, or Kuro Mujo, and you're gonna get this guy for free once you have unlocked a certain chapter, and you want to make a mental note of that as well. But again, if you don't have any good SR, you didn't pull any good SR so far, don't worry, just settle with Yuki Onna or the Inugami. And the next thing I want to talk about is, once you've decided on which DPS you want to use, before you go into any farming chapter, you want to make sure you equip your team with with some souls. So obviously you're going to put your best souls on your DPS units, and then you are going to want to put on any sort of souls onto, say, your support. So in this case, we can just throw in any sort of souls onto Zajiki if I decide to bring her into the battle. And it doesn't have to be a complete soul if you don't have a complete soul set. It can just be anything as long as it helps increase the stats just for a little, because that's going to help the team survive better, and then that's going to increase your chance of completing the stage. And another thing I want to point out is when you're farming, you do want to clear out the boss if you can. So you want to aim for the boss. The boss will start appearing after the second mob kill, but that's kind of rare. Usually it's after the third or fourth, or even after you clear out the entire map. So you want to clear out the entire map so you get to meet the boss, and once you have met the boss and you have exited the map, sometimes you'll get a treasure chest as such, and in that treasure chest sometimes you're going to find some AP or energy, and usually there's 20 of them, and that's really going to help you prolong your farming procedure, and it's going to keep you sustained for longer. And besides the AP, in that treasure chest sometimes you get coins, and coin is always important. You want to stock up on that as much as you can. Sometimes you're going to get Shikigami passes, or raid passes, or even demon parade passes. And lastly, on very rare occasions, you will get mystery amulets where you can use for summoning, and those are like the best rewards there is. So you want to clear out the boss as often as you can. I'm going to include a link down below on how to farm efficiently when you're looking for bosses, and please go check it out. It's gonna hopefully that will help you guys understand the boss farming mechanics a little better. So next up is gonna be the daily quests. I would encourage you guys to do the daily quests as soon as possible, just in case something in real life comes up and you're not able to complete it. By completing a daily task, you gain 1 demon parade pass, and you also get 20 jade, and this is a really good source of income in terms of jade, and it's also beneficial for you to clear out every other quest because you also get different rewards. And some of the better rewards, I believe, is going to be the 20 AP. It's very easy to get. You only have to clear the 3 exploration zone 3 times, and the Kekkai card. The Kekkai card is going to be very useful in the future, and I'm going to explain to you guys why later. Next up, I would encourage you guys to complete the tutorial quest as soon as possible. You're going to find the tutorial quest around this area where the little wolf is sitting, and it's going to give you all sorts of quests, and I just would really highly recommend you guys to complete it as soon as you can, because the sooner you complete them, the sooner you get to unlock the wanted quests, aka the bounty quests. And once you have unlocked the bounty quest, it's going to allow you to participate in these quests where you can get all sorts of rewards, and that will include jade or AP and coins and shards, and it's just a very nice part of the game that you would like to unlock as soon as you can. Once you have reached a certain level, the guild feature is going to be unlocked to you, and you want to join a guild as soon as you can because there are benefits to joining a guild. If you're in an active guild, your guild leader is going to buy the buffs for you, and these buffs is going to help increase your income when you farm, and that will include additional coins and more experience. And sometimes if your guild is really active, it'll buy these guild packs that's gonna give you different sorts of rewards like Darumas or Jade or APs. So the more active the better, but if you're not able to find an active guild, do not worry. It's still a good idea to join a not so active guild, because by doing so you get to participate in this Make-A-Wish feature of the guild. This is where you get to request for any shards that you would like, and if your guildmates have them in spare, they can donate it to you, and this is a really good way to stock up on shards. And I've actually used this feature to get an SR unit for free pretty much, and I got this unit that's supposed to be one of the best healer in the game. So definitely a very useful feature. And do take note though, if you ask for something too rare, so like this guy, he asked for the SSR shard, and he's not getting any donation because most people would rather keep it to themselves, or most people don't even have that at their disposal. So you want to ask for something realistic, maybe an SR unit shard or even an R grade unit shard if you are looking to skill up your R grade units. So it's a good idea to join a guild as soon as you can. And I believe by joining a guild you complete part of your quest as a tutorial series. So it's a good idea if you want to get a jump onto the wanted quests. Just find a guild and join them as soon as you can. So once you have joined the guild, you are going to be able to set your realm next to the guild or to your real life location. And once you do that, you will unlock this screen. So what it does is it allows you to put your realm cards or Kekkai cards into here, and your Kekkai cards is going to provide you with most of the time it's going to give your Shikigami experience when you press collect. And this is a very nice feature. It's going to help you level up your units, whether if it is the ones that you're using very often or the ones that you don't use very often but plan to put aside in the future to be served as a father. So you want to entrust a unit to your friend's Kekkai's card, or maybe your guildmate's Kekkai cards, because it will just give you additional income, whether it be more coins, more AP, more Jade, or just experience at the least. If you can find a friend with that's putting out a Kekkai card that gives you AP or Jade, those are usually pretty hard to come by because those are very desirable. They usually get snatched up before you have a chance to place it into them. So if you can get it in, then great. If not, just be patient and utilize this as much as you can. So next thing you want to take note of as a new player is you want to participate in the daily events as much as you can. So as you can see here, today is Saturday, and these are the events available to us. Demon Encounter is a very good source of AP and coins, and it doesn't require much effort, so please remember to participate in it as much as you can. It stays on 5 hours every day, so you should have plenty of time, and it's really a huge shame if you miss it, because even if you don't do anything in the Demon Encounter, you can still get rewards like these. You get some coins, you get some AP, and sometimes you get medals and shards, and it's just a really good idea to do them every day. The Netherworld is only available on the weekends, and again, it's a good idea to do them. It doesn't cost you anything except for maybe a little bit of your time, but in return you're gonna get free rewards. Duel, it's a very interesting feature. You're gonna be put up against other players, and you're gonna be able to gain honor points upon victory or even losses. And it's a really good idea to do duels as well, even though you're just starting out and you feel like you're too weak, because even if you lose, you still get honor. And you shouldn't take pride in losing, but the honor here is the sort of currency that you can use for purchasing items at the mall. So I'm just going to show you guys real quick what you can buy in the mall with honor. So here it is. You can collect honor fairly easily. Of course, there's a limit as to how many you can get every week based on your tier. And you can use the honor points to exchange for mystery amulets or romance shards. Those are usually the ones I go for. Mystery amulets is of course very good for summoning, and romance shards, once you have collected enough shards, you can summon this SSR unit. Granted, he's not a really good unit, but you know, it's still a SSR unit, and I don't wanna. You probably wanna just get one, and you can decide what you want to do with it later. And it's fairly cheap because you know, honor comes by so easily, and of course there's a weekly quota. So if you want to get this guy, you might want to start as soon as you can. Next up, I want to talk about what you should look out for at the general store. So these you might want to buy just to stock up the 100 AP, and after you have made a purchase, the price will go up, and it's just gonna keep going up. And so it's a good idea to buy maybe 1 or 2 and just keep them in your mailbox. It's gonna stay fresh for 14 days. So the reason why I want to stock these up is, you know, in case you want to just stock up on the AP and then save them for the weekend where you get to really enjoy the game without much distraction like school or work. And Amulet Pack, this is a really good deal if you decide to spend your Jade on summoning. Please do not go into the summoning shrine and just summon with Jade. If you do that, it's going to cost you 100 Jade per summon, versus if you were to do it here, you can purchase 11 amulets where you can do 11 summons for 1000 Jade, and you get some coins on the side. That's just a very small bonus there. But this is definitely the best value if you would like to summon, and please do not just waste your Jade on summoning. But instead, use your Jade to buy the pack and then use the broken amulets to summon. And if you're wondering if it makes any difference, it does not make any difference between using the Jade to summon or using the broken amulet to summon. So this is definitely the better deal. Next up, if you are low on coins, you might want to buy these. I've never done it myself because I farm my own coins like a real man. Just joking, no judgment if you want to buy it. If you decide to wait on this game, this coins is always very important currency, so this is an option. And lastly, this permanent Jade Pouch will be unlocked upon you reach level 15. And if you decide to, if you're playing this game for the long haul, you would want to buy this. It will cost 666 Jade. What it does is it's gonna give you Jade every 6 hours. It's gonna give you 5 Jade every 6 hours. Just rough calculation, you're gonna be able to make your money back within 2 months. So definitely a good idea if you are staying in this game for a long time. So that's the first page, and we already covered the second page. There's no set in stone guideline on what you should buy. Just buy whatever you feel the most comfortable with, but I would not recommend the base Daruma. You can get these guys are usually fathers, and you probably don't want to get these. And if you're desperate for fathers, these are pretty good if you want to like upgrade 5-star or 4-star units. Friendship. Okay, so you get friendship points via adding friends and exchanging friend points. So these are pretty easy to come by too. But the problem is every time you guys exchange friend points, you only get between 5 to 10 friend points, and if your bond is the higher your bond is, the more friend points you get. But that's what it's for. You know, just buy whatever you like. And medals. You gain medals through completing daily events like the ones I've mentioned before, such as Demon Encounter, and you also get, I believe, some medals by completing or participating in the Netherworld. So your metal count, your metal currency is gonna keep going up, and that's a good thing because there's a lot of good stuff here that you want to buy. Firstly, you want to save up for the skill Daruma. You only get one chance to purchase a skill Daruma every week, and if you can, definitely make the purchase here, and everything else is more secondary and not as important as the skill Daruma. Skill Daruma, as the name implies, is really good for skilling up your Shikigami, and you want to keep these skill Darumas for SSR units or really good SR units. So this is one way to skill up. The other way would be by fusing two identical units together. So as you can imagine, if you want to skill up as SSR unit, you would need 2 copies of the same SSR unit, or you can just get one of these guys. So this is a very good investment. Definitely save up for this, and you might want to consider the mystery amulets or the great Darumas, and everything else is optional. Next up, you would want to, of course, farm for the evolution materials to evolve the units that you are very fond of or you want to improve on. And this is it. I would highly recommend you guys to team up with somebody from the chat or with a real life friend, because if you were to go into the evolution dungeon and challenge the monster yourself, it's going to cost you 6 AP, but if you're teaming up with someone, it's only going to cost you 4 AP. Okay, so this game is really trying to encourage us to be sociable. You know, I'm pretty to myself, but it's really not that bad. You know, once you get a hang of it, you don't even have to be friends with each other. There's like a lot of people most of the time looking for teams to compete with or to farm with. So when you first started, I definitely recommend you guys to check out the evolution materials and just get an idea of what you need. Say for example, Yuki-onna needs the Azure materials and the lightning ones, and of course you wouldn't need to farm for Yuki-onna because you're given just enough material to evolve her. So if you want, you can just go ahead and evolve Yuki-onna, but as you can see, I didn't do that, but instead I decided to evolve Zashiki instead. Here you go, Zashiki. So just again, pay attention to the evolution materials that you need and just farm for those specifically. The next dungeon I want to talk about is the Soul dungeon, or aka the Orochi stage. So you guys definitely want to remember the fact that the soul sets rotate on a schedule, and you may not necessarily be able to farm the soul that you want unless it's on the weekend, specifically on Saturday and Sunday, where all sorts of soul will drop. And if you're looking for a particular soul set, then you would need to wait until that day. And that brings us back to the point where you might want to buy the AP from the store and just stock up on them. And just to give you guys an idea, I have been doing my part in terms of stocking up. So here's one that I bought from the store, and these are the ones that I've saved up from the wanted quests. And you know, as mentioned before, you get APs from the wanted quests. So if you don't use them, just don't claim it. It's just gonna go straight to the mailbox when you are when it's time to refresh. But make sure you have completed the quest first. So you have to complete the quest before they send you your price automatically. So that's a very good thing for us. And careful not to click on the claim all button. Can you imagine how many APs I'm gonna have if I do that? It's kind of scary actually. So yeah, you know, as you can see here, I bought this like 12 or 13 days ago, and better use it before it expires. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm stocking up, and the reason why I do that is because that will give me the flexibility to farm or participate in any events that I want. Okay, so it's just a good practice. Instead of having to buy on that day, on the very same day, you want to stock up because it's the first couple of AP purchase is the cheapest. That's why we want to stock up on it. So back to the Orochi dungeon. I wouldn't recommend you guys to do Orochi when you first started unless there's a specific soul sets that you really want. And the reason is because you probably won't be able to complete or run smoothly, and even if you're able to gain some souls, they're usually low grade souls, and those are the ones that you will most likely get replaced in the future. So what I would recommend is, if you are desperate for equipping your units, just go farm chapter 2 or chapter 4 and level up as fast as you can, and once you have reached a certain level, the hard mode will unlock. And then again, chapter 2 and chapter 4 will drop a soul that's really good for the DPS units, so definitely be on the lookout for those. And once you have unlocked the hard mode, the 4-star soul set is going to begin to drop. Of course, they are kind of rare, but if you're looking for souls, in my opinion, this is a more guaranteed way to get the soul sets that you want. Ultimately, you're gonna be aiming for 6 stars souls, which is gonna be somewhat of a long way. Okay, next up, I want to talk about some of the units you want to keep instead of using them as fathers. So, namely, I want to talk about 3. The first one would be Zajiki. You can get a free Zajiki upon completion of chapter 2, and you might also get a few copies of her in via summoning. Again, she's an R-grade unit, so she comes by pretty often, but you definitely want to keep her along with any copies of her to help her skill up. Zajiki is a very useful unit for beginners or even mid to late game players. So she's gonna stick around for a long time, and if you have copies of her, you definitely want to help her skill up because her skills are very useful. And I'm gonna explain why in another video. But you're gonna see a lot of her when you're dueling with other players, or hopefully she's gonna stay in your team as well because she's really helpful. Alright, the next unit is gonna be Yama Usagi. So again, if you get copies of her, definitely keep it around and help her skill up. And also, you're gonna find her very useful in any PvP teams because she has the bunny dance move, which will only get unlocked upon evolving her. So you might not be able to evolve her just yet when you first got her because you need to farm out her materials, but she's definitely very useful. Keep her around. And the last one is Shuzu. Shuzu is it's very popular in the arena or in the PvP area of the game. She might fall short in the future, but even so, you can still use her in PvE content that includes Kirin fights, or if you're trying to complete your soul stage or your evolution stage. She's just very useful. Definitely keep her around. Again, keep copies of her to help her skill ups and evolve her as soon as you can. So those are the 3 main units I recommend you guys to keep around. And there might be other R-grade units that you want to look out for, but those are the main 3. And just to quickly point out what you might want to keep: Tetsuo, the mouse looking guy, and also Samurai. This guy looks cool and he's really strong in PvP. Definitely want to keep him. And Hitotsume, this one-eye kid. Okay, so those are the R-grade units. And actually, let's do this one too. Ame Ana. She's good in PvP, but you need to understand the game mechanics a little bit to use her. So those are the R-grade units, and I know that's a lot of information. Hopefully it helps clarify things for some of you guys, and do not be afraid to ask any questions in the chat. Just be polite, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And I know this is a lot of information. I try to condense it as much as possible, but this is what makes the game so great. It has a lot of stuff to explore. So, just definitely try to have fun. Don't be scared, and try to figure things out on the first day. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Like and subscribe the video, and I'll see you guys next time.